Hey everybody, it's Chevy, Nobody Else's Auto. We are here at one of the best collections in the country of classic cars as far as I'm concerned. And we're in the middle of Nebraska. Minden, Nebraska to be exact, at the Harold Wart Pioneer Village. Now be sure to check out the playlist on the channel. We've done a lot of content here. This place is absolutely amazing. 300 plus cars and trucks. The history of man from 1830 to present, and this collection is outstanding. Not only is it outstanding, most of it is all original. As you can see behind me, we're in one of the car buildings with an amazing collection. Now we've got something really special for you today. You see I've got a notebook in my hand. They've actually let me look at this, and this notebook is so cool because it talks about a lot of these cars. Now most of these cars were gathered up, put in this museum in exactly as found condition. So they were not high point show cars, they were regular cars. A lot of these cars were gathered up in the 50s and the 60s and into the 70s, and they were just put in the collection exactly as they found them. This notebook that they let me look at, we're going to share a little bit of it with you, talked about things that needed to be done for the cars that are on display. Now, these cars, like I said, are not restored. They don't have any intentions of restoring. They never had intention of restoring them. The purpose was to tell the progress of man in chronological order. But as these cars came in, they did want to make sure that they looked good for display. That's what's so cool about this notebook. This 1940 Cadillac that we're standing in front of right here, it's kind of neat because we see in the notes from 1973 that there were a couple things missing for the display purposes. Taillight lenses, well, that's not quite as big a deal. You can't see the back of the car really, the way it's sitting in here. But a couple things that were important: a headlight ring and a park light lens. Even had pictures of the car of what they needed. So we're going to check out a few other things in this book. But while we're standing here in front of this 1940 Cadillac, we can see both headlight rings are here. This park light lens is here. However, they never found the other park light lens. So that's what's kind of cool about these notes. As this display was coming together, making sure that these cars looked original, but still like they should look. So that's what's so cool about it. But anyway, let's see what else we can find in this notebook and check out a few more cars. Well, as we're going through the notebook from the archives here at Harold Wart's Pioneer Village in Minden, Nebraska, we see the notes on this 1958 Oldsmobile. Some stuff that they needed to do to this car when they put it on display. Just didn't have a write-up on it, front bumper guards, and a mirror. So we can look at this car today, 50 years later, over 50 years later, see they do have front bumper guards on it. They do have a mirror on it, although that does look like an aftermarket mirror. It is a period correct style mirror. And they don't have a write-up yet, but they do have the information about the registration on this particular Oldsmobile. So there again, just taking a snapshot back in time to over 50 years ago as they were working on this display and some of the small things that they needed to tweak just to make the cars look complete. The car looks completely original other than a few things that needed fixed. Appears to be all original paint and a completely original car, but obviously you want to make sure they look right for display purposes. So let's see what else interesting we find in this notebook. So, some more cool things as we're checking out some of these archives here at Pioneer Village. Found some cool stuff on this 1959 Chevy Impala. Obviously, 348 powered car with the rally flags on the hood. And a couple of notes on this car said it needs a grill. We can see it's missing one of the bullets and it's kind of bent up. Well, this grill has all the bullets in it. So, obviously, that was replaced. Said they found a grill for $12. So it cost them a whopping $12 back in the 70s as they were getting this stuff fixed up and putting it on display. Also needed hubcaps. So let's scooch around this little Corvair here so we can get over to the other side of this 59. And you can see just the rows and rows of amazing vehicles in this collection. And as we get over here, we can see we've got hubcaps on this 59 as well. They cost $1. So I'm assuming that was probably $1 a piece. This is a very cool black four-door hardtop, flat top 59 Impala. These are gorgeous cars, super popular, definitely one of the most popular four doors out there. and there's a reason for that. These are an amazing looking car. This flat roof design in 5960, definitely one of the sharpest cars ever made in a four-door, hands down. And I'm a fan of four-door hardtops anyway, but these cars are great. Take a peek inside this, and oh, there's our damaged grille, actually. And we can see right down here, it is actually missing the bullet, just like in our picture. So there it is, been stored in there ever since they replaced it, because obviously they didn't want to put it on display with missing bullets on it. So there again, just more interesting tidbits of information. Like we've talked about, they don't restore these cars. They preserve them in original as found condition, just making sure that they display nicely. Perfect example of it right there. Well, let's see what else we can find in this cool notebook. Well, as we're wandering around Harold Wart Pioneer Village here with this super cool notebook, we found another interesting car with some interesting tidbits. This 1958 Edsel convertible. Now, one thing well known about these Edsels was the teletouch, the shift buttons in the middle of the steering wheel. That's how this one was equipped. But what did this car need to be on display? There again, not restored, but look intact and on display. Well, it says here one of the big things it needed was 4 hubcaps. Obviously, you don't want to put a car on display, even if it's original, missing hubcaps. Well, fortunately, this Edsel does have a full set of Edsel hubcaps on it now. One of the other things it noted, it was missing a wiper blade. So we'll come around the front of this old Edsel convertible and see they do have wiper arms and wiper blades on both sides. But one other thing that was noted, the hood ornament was broken, and obviously a replacement was never found for that. So, kind of neat. Be able to get into some of these archives, see some of the history on some of these cars. And like we've talked about, they don't restore them. These cars are mostly in original condition. Some of the earlier cars have been restored, but a lot of these cars in this 50s and 60s era here were gathered up and put on display in original condition. Other than, like I said, making a few things to make them complete and display nicely. So that's what's so cool about it. And it was so awesome that they allowed us to share some of this stuff with you and be able to check it out. So not a big deal, but it's kind of neat just to tie the history together on these things. And we just looked at a handful of them here. There's over 300 cars and trucks here. So this is a must-see, is a must-stop. If you like cars and trucks, you've got to come here. On top of the fact that they've literally got something here for everybody, for literally everyone. The history of man from 1830 to present covers a lot of artifacts, telephones, musical instruments, cars and trucks. And now we were able to bring you a little bit of the so-called rest of the story on a few of these vehicles. Now, obviously, we could go on for months going into details about it. So this is just the tip of the iceberg on a handful of cars. But it was something a little bit different. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So be sure to check this place out. Oh, and while we're here, standing near this Edsel, one other quick thing we want to show you before we wrap this video up is they have an awesome collection of promos. We love promo models. They've got a great display here of promo models as well. Obviously ties right into all of our gearhead loves. Promo models fall right in the midst of that. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up and go check out some other cool things around here. Be sure to check out the full Pioneer Village playlist on the channel. We've got a lot of content here. They've been very kind to let us do some of this stuff here, and we hope you enjoyed it. So we hope you enjoyed doing a little bit of digging, getting a little of the backstory on just a handful of these cars. But there's so much stuff here, you've got to come check it out for yourself. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out all the Pioneer Village videos on the playlist. We've got a lot more cool car content coming. We're going to go see what else we can find today to check out. So hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned for a lot more cool stuff coming up, and thanks for watching, everybody.